It's time to carve out another road trip. He was an artist, a genius, and an inventor. Ernest Warther is so good, he's got his own museum. It's a one-tank trip.
The passion carvers at Oberammergau, Germany, came to view his carvings back in the 1930s, and they declared him the world's master carver in carving, as it was the best carving they had ever seen in the world. It's really not carving, it's more of a form of art.
Ernest Warther was born just south of Canton in the city of Dover back in 1885 in an old log schoolhouse. At the age of 5, Warther, as well as his siblings, were forced to work due to the death of his father. His job was herding cows for a penny a day. One day while doing just that, he found a pocket knife in the dirt and thus began his lifelong love for carving. Today, his family home has been transformed into a museum. You have to see to believe.
When you first enter our museum, one of the first things you see is Mooney's original workshop.
The knife has been the chief tool all the way through. Some funny shape on it, you know. Sometimes I just had to make a blade for one cut.
At the age of 14, he got a job in the local steel mill. He spent 24 years there, but carving was his passion.
This behind me is a replica of the mill that he worked in. It took him 9 months to carve. He carved a lot of his buddies doing things he remembered them doing the most. Like Pat Murphy back in the coal bin would take a swig every now and then to clear the dust out of his throat.
Warther loved mechanics, especially steam engines. One of his favorites was the Empire State Express.
This carving is the Empire State Express, which is an 8-foot-long carving. He used a 75-pound elephant tusk, cutting it up into different parts. The bridge is ivory with blocks of wood to make it look like bricks.
Using old railroad repair manuals as a guide, he carved it 5 different times.
The one in the center is a completed model, and then the one that is in the rest of the case is the same model, but we tore it apart so you can see how many thousands of pieces go into it and all the fine little detail of the nuts and the bolts. The room we are in now shows the evolution of the steam engine, starting in 250 BC up to the 1940s when the last of the steam engines were built. He only made 4 carvings that are solid ebony. One is directly behind me. It took him about 7 months to carve that with about 7,700 pieces in it.
Ernest Warther admired Abraham Lincoln very much. He carved many things as a tribute to the man he so very much looked up to. And one of those carvings is Lincoln's funeral train, which is made completely of ebony and ivory.
It took him a year to carve. He started it on the 99th anniversary of Lincoln's assassination, finished it on April 14th, 1965, 1 year later.
The detail is incredible. Warther even made the furniture inside the cars.
Inside you'll see Lincoln lying in his casket, and the door to the restroom has a key hanging right by the door, and that key actually fits into the lock of the door.
Ernest's wife Frida was an artist of sorts as well. She collected buttons, and they too are on display in her button house.
A visit to the Ernest Warther Museum in Dover, Ohio is not complete without stopping in to see Frida's button house. There's about 73,000 buttons that she collected in a lifetime, mounted in different quilt patterns in this room. And so we hope that you will come and see us soon and enjoy your visit.
And the best part is, it's just a one-tank trip. David Moss, Fox 8 News.